Call the regular meeting of the Huron City Commission to order. It is Monday, April 27th, 2020, and it is 5:30 p.m. Could we have a roll call, please?
Smith.
Here.
Clute.
Here.
Harrington.
Here.
Robish.
Present.
Mayor Albert.
Here. Let us stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Thank you. We will now go to item 2, public forum. Public comments may be sent during the live meeting broadcast on the city's YouTube channel. The link is listed on the city's website at www.huronsd.com/city-government. Again, if you want to comment, go to the website on www.huronsd.com/city-government. And we'll wait a little bit here for you to get your questions in, or you can send them during the meeting also. Okay, I also have an announcement to read here during public forum. We'll do that and keep trying to send your questions in if you would like. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., paving is scheduled to start on the 21st Street and Lincoln corner. We are asking for people's patience and cooperation throughout the paving process. Please obey all signage and slow down and be alert in those areas. The workers are involved in what they are doing and may make sudden and unexpected movements. So be very careful as they repair or lay asphalt there on the curve on 21st Street. Any questions? Come over. Okay, no questions or statements. If you have anything, you can still send them in and we will get to them before the end of the meeting. Item number 3 we'll move to. Agenda approval. I have a change on the agenda. I would like to remove from the consent agenda 4.4 items 1 and 3. And we will hear those before the formal items. Any other changes to the agenda?
Motion to approve with the amendment.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. I guess we don't need discussion. All those in favor of approval of the agenda will say aye, opposed nay, and we'll need a roll call.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Harrington.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. We'll move to item 4, the consent agenda. Matters appearing on the consent agenda are expected to be non-controversial and will be acted upon by the commission at one time without discussion, unless a member of the commission requests an opportunity to address any given item. Items removed from the consent agenda will be discussed at the beginning of the formal items. Tonight's consent agenda 4.1, minutes of April 20th, 2020. 4.2, application for abatement and or refund of property taxes for property legally described as L4B7 Second Athletic Park addition. 4.3, appoint the Human Resources Manager as a Civil Service Secretary and Chief Examiner. 4.4, personnel items. Item 2, regular full-time status for Dennis Holmberg, Solid Waste Maintenance 3, for completing his probationary period. Item 4, accept the list of applicants for the Water Sewer Superintendent position. And item 5, hiring of a part-time summer engineering intern. Do I have a motion on the, I'm sorry, we have the payment of the bills also on the agenda, consent agenda. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
This is Smith. Approve.
Is there a second?
Smith.
Smith, okay. All those in favor will say aye, opposed nay, and we'll call the roll.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Harrington.
Aye.
Robish. Mayor Albert.
Aye. Now we'll move to the regular items. We'll go back to 4.41. This is the resignation of Anita Selting Hosick, part-time year-round library clerk, and advertise for this position. Is there any discussion on item number 1, 4.4?
Some of the discussion, this is Smith. Some of the discussion I would have on it is we have been past commission meetings during the COVID crisis talked about consideration as far as hiring more additional help during this process. And, I'd like to look at that position. Is that one that can be pulled back and reconsidered as things proceed throughout the year, rather than an automatic rehire?
Okay, there's no one from the parks here. HR Director Pat, do you have anything on that one?
We can hold off on that. I would like to make sure that the commission accepts the resignation of Anita, because she is done now. She was done April 21st. But we will postpone advertising for the part-time year-round library clerk.
Okay, we'll split those two. I guess we'll, do I have a motion on the resignation of Anita Selting Hosek, part-time library clerk? Someone like to make a motion to accept her resignation?
I would move to accept Anita's resignation.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting her resignation will say aye, opposed nay. Call the roll, please.
Smith.
Aye.
Clute.
Aye.
Harrington.
Aye.
Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. Now we have the second part of that is advertise for this position. Do we want to advertise for it or wait until later? Pat, what's your recommendation?
We could advertise now and hire later, or we can just wait and advertise later on.
Which would you rather do?
Well,
Wait?
yeah, let's wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the new HR.
Yeah.
Let's wait.
Okay, someone would like to make a motion?
I will do that, and I will talk to Cheryl about it.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none,
Could you
all
state
those
the
in
motion
favor-
again, please?
Pardon? Someone asked something? Oh, Commissioner Clute, go ahead.
What, could you state the motion before it's voted on, please?
Yes, the motion is to not advertise for a replacement for this position.
Until further review, is that the understanding that that's
Yes,
what we'll do?
until such time as we need that person. I guess that was the motion, wasn't it, Commissioner Robish?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's good with a second?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Commissioner Clute?
Well, so the plan will be to look a little more in detail about the position. Let Shirley Apley and her crew give us the particulars of the position and the need for it. Is that correct?
I believe that's the intent, yes. Commissioner Robish?
Yeah, you're right, Commissioner Clute, and we are we're going through the assistant library. I'm not sure the title of that, okay? But we're going to reevaluate that also, and then with that going on, we will look at these other positions and see, I'm not saying they're not needed, but we'll see as needed, depending on the timing of our society.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of waiting on the advertising for the part-time library clerk, say aye, opposed nay, and we'll call the roll.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. We'll move to item 4.43. I think this is the same issue, hiring of a part-time summer Ravine Lake Ranger. Commissioner Smith, do you have something on this also, or?
Yeah, kind of along those same lines, not certain of what the outcome is going to be for the summer. And then maybe if Pat or Commissioner Klug could give a description of what that position is. I know we've had a Ravine Lake Ranger, but maybe give a little more detail on what that position entails.
Okay,
Well, I'd have to defer to Mr. Clark. I think, obviously, we're going to, whether the full range of activities is open or not at Ravine Lake, you still have to keep up the park. And we are opening the Butters and Scoops and the miniature golf. The Park and Rec Board is going to take up the other lake activities probably at their special meeting in 10 days. But I would have to defer to Ron to make a pitch as to the necessity for a Ravine Lake Ranger position. It is just part-time, I guess. I'm not, so.
Okay, any further discussion?
Well, the other question that I'd have with that is maybe the outcome of that filling of that position might be determined as Parks and Rec make some decisions on what their programs are going to do. And, potentially there's help there that could fill that position, rather than advertising it to the general public. If some of the people that have applied for other positions could do that.
I don't have any problem with doing what we did with the library clerk part-time position and defer action on this until we get a little more investigation and allow the Parks Department to give us their input on it. So I'll make that motion to just defer that until we can put it on the formal agenda, whether it's next Monday or 2 weeks from today.
Okay,
I would second that motion.
okay, there's a motion and a second to defer it until later and until a decision is made on that. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion will say aye, opposed nay, and we'll call the roll.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington. Aye. Robish.
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. We'll move on to item 5, bid and quote items. 5.1, consider awarding bid number 2020-17 anaerobic lagoon cover replacement, and Assistant Engineer Bennett.
Thank you, Mayor. This is for the last cover for the anaerobic lagoons. And the August Winter and Sons out of Appleton, Wisconsin is low bidder. They're the same people that did the other two, and we recommend approval.
Okay, do I have a motion on the recommendation to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
There is a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the bid will say aye, opposed nay, and we'll call the roll.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. We'll move to item 7, ordinances and resolutions. 7.1, second reading of ordinance number 2210-21-79, Water Department and regulations, tapping permit and bond requirements. And City Attorney Banks, would you do the reading for us, please?
The title is an ordinance to amend sections 21.08.030 and 21.08.300 of chapter 21.08 of title 21 of ordinance in revision number 850, commonly known as Municipal Code of the City of Huron, South Dakota, pertaining to water department and regulations.
Okay. There's no one here to speak on it. I think, go ahead if you'd like.
So the changes are consistent with the wastewater changes that were made in December, those being an increase of the bond required for a permit from $1,000 to $5,000, which should cover most projects that are undertaken, and also a requirement consistent with the wastewater regulations that all applicants for a permit must have a valid plumber or water license issued by the state.
Okay. Thank you. I think those are consistent with what we did with the water department. Is that
With the wastewater, correct?
wastewater? Okay. Do I have a motion on the second, to okay the second reading of this ordinance change?
Move approval of the ordinance. This is Doug Clute.
Okay, is there a second?
Second, Smith.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of okaying the second reading of the ordinance change will say aye, opposed nay. We'll call the roll.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Albert.
Aye. Move to items 8. 8.1, Solid Waste Department change in hours of operation. And Commissioner Clute, do you have those changes for us this evening?
I do. Thanks, Mayor. Beginning tomorrow, April 28th, the rubble site will be open to customers from 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, it will be open from 9 a.m. to noon. They will be limiting the number of customers on the premises at one time, so there may be a wait time before you're allowed to enter. And you'll have to follow certain guidelines. They will accept rubble items, tires, metal items, and bagged household garbage. That is municipal solid waste. Those items need to be pre-sorted before you arrive at the site. Loads will be inspected at the entrance gate. If you have a mixed, unsorted load, you will be turned away. Also, a reminder that loads need to be secured. Burn barrels will not be accepted. Paint cans with paint and chemicals will also not be accepted as usual. No cash will be accepted. Only credit cards, debit cards, and the commercial accounts can use their charge accounts. They're doing that as a precaution so the employees of the solid waste department can keep safe at the facility while they're operating it. The garbage collection will now return to one time a week collection beginning this coming Monday, May the 4th. You'll recall that we did up that to two garbage collection dates for a limited period of time. But that will end, and the garbage collection will return to one time a week beginning this coming Monday. Yard waste collection that has been on Wednesdays will be moving to your regular collection day beginning the week of May 4th, next Monday. Finally, a reminder that the yard waste drop-off area is open to residents only. Contract tree service companies will still be able to bring their tree branches to the rubble site. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Clute. We'll move to 8.2. Consider a recommendation regarding damage to the former street shop building, accept the sworn statement in proof of loss, and authorize the mayor to sign. Finance Director Carey.
Thank you, Mayor. The south side end of our old street shop, the ceiling caved in the spring storm, and so we had Chris with his recommendations, as well as the insurance company had a structural engineer come and look. Their recommendation, they won't really give us a recommendation. We had to pick if we want to tear it down, if we want to rebuild it. Talking with Chris and myself, we've decided to take the amount of $135,283, which is the cash value, and to go ahead and tear down the building. And then we just need to authorize the mayor to sign as well. So we ask for your approval.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve tearing down the old street shop and accepting the insurance offer for that?
Motion to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I have a question, Mayor. This is Doug Clute.
Yes, Commissioner Clute.
So they'll give us this amount of cash, the insurance company, and then we have to tear it down ourselves, or?
They'll
Is
give us
that-
this amount of cash and we can do what we want to with the building.
Okay, so you don't necessarily have to tear it down then?
Correct.
But the fact is, it's been significantly damaged and would have to be repaired if it's gonna still be usable, is that?
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. It was over $200,000 to fix just the roof on that one side.
Are we, as a city, we have the equipment and the manpower needed to tear it down ourselves, or are we gonna have to contract that?
In talking to Chris and everybody, I think that we would have the manpower to do it ourselves, probably with a shared combined, maybe the county helping as well. But yes, we could do it.
No further questions, thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Mayor, I have a question, Mrs. Smith.
Yes, Commissioner Smith.
If that is to be torn down, is there any asbestos concerns or hazardous concerns that would need to be addressed?
You know, that is probably beyond the knowledge that I have of that building. That would be a question for the building inspector.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the insurance offer will say aye, opposed nay, and call the roll, please.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Alward.
Aye. We'll move to item 8.3. Consider recommended to transfer funds for road projects in Southtown. And Finance Director Carey.
Thank you, Mayor. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. These are the funds with the bid coming in significantly under. We're going to transfer the funds to a capital projects account, which we did talk about during budget. So from our 320 fund special assessments, I'm going to transfer $600,000 and at a second penny, $162,748 to the capital projects fund. Total transfer is $762,000. At the end of the year, we had transferred the amount in the Southtown Fund, 327, to that 517 already. So that gives us our bid amount.
Any questions for the finance director? If there's no questions, is there a motion?
Motion to approve the transfer, Smith.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the transfers say aye, opposed nay, call the roll.
Smith,
Aye.
Clute,
Aye.
Harrington,
Aye.
Robish,
Aye.
Mayor Howard.
Aye. Do we have any questions from those watching? No questions or comments? Okay, having completed all the business in our agenda this evening, we'll be adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
That